love technology of that and other awesome reasons. Oh, dude, anyone that's a tech lover, well, you're part of the club. Okay, so I'm streaming to YouTube, so I'm gonna move this over because basically, you could take notes, but basically I'm gonna and then you could rewatch basically what I'm gonna go through here on my YouTube channel. All my live streams are all saved as like a library, so you can click on live stream and you can see every live stream that I've done on TikTok. You don't even have to subscribe, you could just binge and watch. I highly recommend Monica. Good to see you, Monica. I highly recommend to get YouTube Premium so that you could watch these ad free. Basically, anything on YouTube ad free. So what we're going to do is help Spanish Master, who's in the comments. Yep, Spanish Master. By the way, yo hablo poquito español. What platform is that? This is YouTube. Basically, I will subscribe to help the community. No, you're awesome. You just showing up on the live stream is already going to help. So we're going to help two people, Spanish Master and then Two Wellness. They want to transition into how to become. Basically, he's like, muy bien. Yo hablo poquito, and I really want to be like super fluent in my Spanish, so that's my thing. Oh, the streaming platform, great thing. So you guys ask, and I shall receive. Okay, so this is what I use Streamlabs to stream. I highly recommend. It's completely free, and you get to stream to two platforms, YouTube and TikTok, at the same time. Man, we're gonna start doing lessons in Spanish, and then I'm gonna invite English with Monica, who's a English teacher who speaks Spanish, because she's in Brazil. This is gonna be a Spanish. You guys are making me do a whole episode in Spanish. So this is a very powerful software, very easy to use because it's going to allow you to do basically English and Spanish. Or sorry, it's going to allow you to stream at the same time. Okay, so now what we're going to do, get down to the solves, how to transition from a 9 to 5 AI to AI consultant. It's actually going to be a little easier than you think too. Okay, so the way I always coach my students, and kind of here, just kind of like making sure we can see. Okay, so it always goes niche, content, and then product. So he's like, I can help you out if you ever need. That's my friend. That's my expert. Oh, dude, no, you just showing up. You're awesome. How to find your beta clients? Awesome. Great questions, everyone. Great questions. So it always starts with community first. Now there's two niches. There's AI for entrepreneurs, and then there's AI for everyone else, like everyday people, non-entrepreneurs. Let's just say non-entrepreneurs. I don't want to call them like 9 to 5ers, but just like people who just aren't entrepreneurs. Which there's, I'm not saying it's entrepreneurs, because there are two completely different types of content that's going to help them basically. So number one is you're going to pick your audience. Do you want to, are you more business, like do you have more business acumen and you're like, hey, I like talking about marketing, sales, automation, content. You're like, okay, I want to help AI for entrepreneurs. Like for me, I do just content for AI for entrepreneurs. But then there's a whole nother niche. Entrepreneurs also goes entrepreneurs and side hustlers. They're both the same niche. So you want to know, who are you creating content for? Two Wellness says for AI for entrepreneurs. What about you for Spanish Master? And then Jill says he's doing geriatrics. No worries. This will also apply. Cool. Okay. So you want to pick your content first, or your niche, because that's who you're going to serve. That's who you're going to create content and a product for. And they're two completely niches. You can't do both. It has to be one or the other. Because then all your marketing, for example, is going to basically help that. He says, I do have two clients that teach intermediate Spanish lessons using Google Classroom. Oh, nice. Okay. Next is going to come down content. Because basically when it comes down to, let's do this problem. What problem are you solving for each of these? And really they come down to, they're overwhelmed with so many AI tools. Which one is the best? And also, how do I use it? How do I use it? So that's gonna be one. The second problem that they'll have is basically let's see. How well for the business ones, because this is also going to be we're kind of like double dipping here for entrepreneurs, and also it's the same for non-entrepreneurs. They're both overwhelmed with AI tools and they don't know. For the non-entrepreneurs, they're like, how do I use AI in my life and work? That's going to be their main thing, for example. And then for the entrepreneurs, they're like, how do I use AI in my business? And that's your marketing, sales, customer service, and operations. Like, how do I use actually AI in those niches, basically? Because having to know what problem that you're going to solve is going to be very important for the content that you create and the product that you solve, which solves these problems here. So next thing comes down to content. What are you going to create to attract their ideal clients, and where are you going to find them? TikTok and Instagram, and then there's also YouTube Shorts, and then there's live stream on TikTok. Cool. Okay, cool. So now it comes down to the content. This is very important. Let me switch over. Very important. You want to start with community and demand first before you come up with a product or service second. Many entrepreneurs make the mistake that, oh, I'll come up with the best product or I'll come up with the best service. But then they're struggling because they're not like, oh, now I got to find the audience. Now I got, and then the audience is like, actually, that's not the biggest pain point that keeps us up at night. I don't want to pay for that. That's not the biggest problem. I want to solve this problem. Here, I'll give you an example. I have a member in my AI community that spent the last 3 months trying to learn this one AI tool. He's like, if I build with this one AI chatbot, everyone's going to want chatbots, and this is going to be the best AI tool. So he spent 3 months learning that tool. And so I've been pushing him to say, you need to cold call. You need to call your ideal customer and say, what keeps you up at night? What is the biggest everything in marketing and sales is, what is the number one problem that keeps you up at night? Those are the problems that your customers will happily pay for a solution versus a nice to have. Like, it's not, yeah, it's cool, but it's not really the main thing. So then he calls a bunch of HVAC customers because that's his ideal client. People that do HVAC, like heating and conditioning services. So he calls them. He called 11 businesses, and one of them says, "Oh, you do AI and automation? Awesome. Can you? My biggest pain point is, can you solve? I get a lot of missed phone calls because I'm working with clients and other stuff, and clients call after hours and on the weekends, and I'm not monitoring the phone all the time. I need an AI bot to answer the phone and also answer text messages." He goes, "That's if you could do that, I will pay for your automation services." And then he goes, "Oh yeah, I could do that." But then he turns around and talks to me and goes, "My chatbot that I learned doesn't actually can't actually solve that problem. So what do I do?" I go, "Well, now that you know where the demand is, you would now go and develop the product. Basically, go and learn a different tool. This tool, I've made a recommendation, does voice. This tool does SMS chat. Learn those two tools and then sell them solution." So that's just a quick story to say, don't create the product or service first as an entrepreneur. Create the community or find out what the demand is first. Then create the product or service second. And I'll say, for example, so that's going to be the biggest thing. That's always number one. So what does that mean? That means before I create a website, before I create, I learn any like solution or anything like that, I need to show up in the market and do marketing. Marketing is just showing up where your ideal customers are and serving them without asking for a payment or asking for a sale. That's what marketing is. Marketing is showing up and creating content on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. That's your short form content. And you're showing up every single day. For context, I post 6 pieces of content every day. Some days I miss. So let's say 4 out of the 7 days of the week. 4 out of the 7 days a week, I post 6 pieces of content. And so that's how my audience is going to find me. Second, I go live twice a day. So then if I show up live like I am right now, the algorithm, this is a very unique period of time. TikTok's algorithm is going to give you free traffic, free distribution. It's going to go find you the ideal customer and send them to your live stream, basically. That's the beauty of where if you look at other social media platforms, they're pay to play. You have to pay the algorithm or pay Facebook or Instagram money in order for them to boost your ads or your content to your ideal client. So that's where TikTok, if you show up, you create really good content, and you just help through the FAQs, basically live streams, then they will be like, oh my God, you've helped me so much. This is actually better than watching like YouTube content. Like, do you do coaching? Do you do mentoring? Do you have a product? Do you have a service? Do you have a workbook? Do you have a course? Do you have they'll ask you. So that's where if I can make recommendation first, once you know your niche and you know your problem, the next thing is that you need to show up on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Make it simple. Just real make it simple. Show up on TikTok for the next 30 days and do live streams once a day. I would say minimally. This is the minimal side. Minimal side is basically posting 3 pieces of content a day and going live once a day. If you're not doing that type of content creation or that volume per se, you are not to the algorithm. You're not a content creator. So the algorithm's like, why should I send you traffic if you're gonna only post once a day or maybe once every few days? It's like, why should I give you versus someone that's posting 3 times a day? It's like, oh, you're giving me, you have to feed the beast, feed the machine. So the algorithm's like, oh, you're feeding me content. I'm gonna go find you more people to like watch your content then. Oh, you're doing live streams? Great. I've got some people that want to hang out and talk about what you're talking about on live stream, basically. That's what the algorithm wants. It's volume. It's the 3-in-1 rule. Post 3 times a day, go live once a day. That's going to start to attract your ideal audience. Now, it takes roughly 2 weeks for, hey, Candy. We're actually talking about how to start, it's not just AI consulting, it's pretty much how to start coaching and consulting online. Not even if it's AI in general. This framework works for anyone that wants to do coaching or sell a service. This framework works for everyone. So step 1 is you're going to show up online on TikTok and Instagram, and you're going to basically help. You're going to give away a ton of free. Your 3 tips of videos are going to be helpful tips to help your ideal client get a win. What is the best thing to do? What are things to avoid? What are how to do something to get some results, for example. And so you want to post 3 times a day, and then by going live, when you go live, try and stick to the same time every day if you can, because it becomes like a TV show. People want to, once they come to your lives and you're like, oh my God, I just came in halfway. You're giving me a ton of free value. This is super. I'm taking notes. John, I'm taking notes. I'm on page 2. This is like fire. Oh my God. Then they're gonna ask, when do you go live again? Now we'll be like, same time every day, 6 o'clock and 10 p.m. Today I was late because I had to file my taxes, so that's why I'm late. But I still wanted to show up for my 6 p.m. show, so that's why I'm a little late. So then they're gonna show up again, and you're gonna give value. The way, I don't want to say the way the universe works, but the way business now works as of today is you have to give. What you have to give first before you can receive a client or business, or basically business in a sense. So you need to give, and I'm talking give. Monica's like, taxes, like, oh my God. I know. I literally an angel. I don't know if you want to talk about, like, I literally thought life was throwing me a curveball. It was actually God just nudging me over, saying, hey, you're kind of headed towards a pothole. Let me nudge you over. You need to connect with this person. And I met an amazing lady. She did my tax. She saved. I literally want to cry. Like how much she's like helping my business on the tax side. So I'm like, an angel, sir, help me. And so that's where I'm like, I'm kind of like, I feel indebted to the universe to show up consistently and also give. Same thing I'm doing right now too. Nelson, good to see you. So you need to show up online so that your audience can discover you, especially on TikTok, which is super helpful. I know I still can't believe what just happened. As far as she saved me what could have been a huge issue, and I thought it was like, oh my God, frustration. It was actually God going, you need to move over here. You need to talk to this person. I don't care what you're doing. Like, you need to move. So I was like, okay, cool. So The universe is always working towards you and always helping you. I'll leave at the very end a very cool kind of mindset hack that's actually been working really well. So I'll save that to the very end. Give you guys a mindset hack that's been phenomenal this week. Okay, so back to coaching and consulting. Regardless of what your product is or your service is, for example, it's always giving helpful advice on live streams and showing up consistently, because the first 2 weeks the algorithm is like, who likes like your content? I don't know. So it's gonna send you a couple. It's gonna send you. You'll see it with the first 2 weeks. You'll see people pop in and out of your live streams, and some people will bounce. It'll be like less than 10 people. Don't freak out about the numbers. Never worry about the numbers, because here's an actual very interesting story. Never be worried that if someone is next when you go live stream, there's like 8 people or 5 or even 3 people on your live stream, because here's the hack, and here's what the universe does. I know I'm always talking about the universe now, or God. So if there's 3 people on the live stream, it turns out it's actually the 3 right people that need to hear your message. And I'll tell you a quick story. There was a guitar player, very famous guitar. He was a country guitarist, and his very first concert, there was only 2 people in the audience, and that was it. And he was like, he he's like, I could have, when he reflected back, he's like, I could have been like bummed out and be like, man, there's only 2 people in the audience. This sucks. I want a crowd. I want a lot of people. But he's like, you know what? It actually was exactly what I needed, because I get to give those 2 people all my attention and serve them, and those are the right 2 people that needed to hear my message, or hear what I'm here, my gift, my offering, what I'm here put on this universe to do. And so that's where it's like, I don't care if it's 2 people or 31 people that are on the live stream. It's the exact right number of people. You just have to show up. That's like the #1 giveaway. So with that, when you show up and you do consistently, you start doing, let's say 6 p.m. every day. It doesn't really matter, honestly. Just pick a time. You could go consistently. When you show up, this is important right here. This is called a visual call to action. This bubble, this bubble right here, you want to, it's a sticker. You can literally, like, there's a button right here when you go live. It says enhance. And when you click on enhance, there's a little option that says stickers. You choose a sticker that looks like this. And then you put, here's very important, you need to put the #1 pain point that keeps your ideal customers up at night right here. This is important. What's going to happen is they're scrolling. Not exactly serious. So what happens was, people are scrolling on live streams on TikTok, and they're scroll, and in about 3 seconds, they're gonna come across on your page, and in 3 seconds, you're gonna be deep in the topic, like passionately talking about, we're how to move from a 9 to 5 to what was our thing here? How do we start off? How to transition from a 9 to 5 to an online consultant, whether it be AI or anything that you want to teach. So you're deep in your talk, but they're gonna read this, and they're gonna do one of 2 things. Either A, they're struggling with this pain point. They're like, wait, I actually do need leads. I really do need sales. Okay, mystery man that I just met, what, you seem like you're talking about something. I'm gonna sit in the back of the room, and I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna be like, what's going on here? There's 34 people on here and 3,000 likes. What are you guys talking about? What's going on here? Struggling with leads? What you guys talking about? Leads and sales. How are you guys getting leads and sales? I'm struggling too. And they're gonna just sit in the back and just watch. So the other people that don't have this pain point, if they're a 9 to 5, or they just don't have a business, then they're just gonna keep scrolling. They're like, leads and sales? I got work tomorrow. I'm gonna keep scrolling. Do. So that's why this is a visual hook. I highly underestimated the honesty. I have no filter. So this gets the right type of people to stay, to just pause, because the next part is so the interesting thing about live streams versus any other form of content is, here I get to break the 4th wall and actually interact. So this whole talk right now started with Spanish Master saying, how do I transition from being a high school teacher to an AI teacher? That's how this whole thing started right now, or this episode basically. So if you can answer your customers' questions and give them a ton of value. answer all the questions, give them all the secrets, give them all, like, a lot of people are like, what software are you using? Oh, that's Streamlabs. Streamlabs you could use to, like, live stream on your computer so that you can show up. So that's the game. And you're going to do this for 30 days. It's technically going to be 60 days, but the first 30 days are important because I call them the learning phase, because the algorithm just doesn't know who to send you to. It doesn't know who's going to stay in the room, who's going to comment, and who should I send, because all the algorithm cares about is just keeping people on the platform. That's all. So put number one in the chat if you're mopping what I'm spilling. I think one of my friends said, and I was like, that's a good phrase. I like that. John, I'm taking notes. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. He said, number one, I need to start creating 3 pieces of content a day. Check. Number two, he said, I need to start, actually, we can go here. Number two, he said, I need to start going live. And you can start with just your phone, super easy. From there, they're like, oh, cool, number two. Now, what's going to happen is, as you start showing up consistently and answering questions, you need to, your audience is going to add, well, here's the next thing. You need to have what I call magic tricks. Magic tricks or demos, basically. What are you using to prop up your phone? Great question, Natalie. Look how simple my setup is. Ta-da! That's all my setup is. It's a very, so there's actually 2 products here. There's the stand, right, which comes with the phone holder. That's all it comes with. But the next important thing is this. It's a ball joint. This allows me to move my phone any which way I want, for example. So when you ever do, like, so get the stand plus this is really helpful. And then I'm just showing what's on my computer, doing this. Super simple. Super simple. That's all you need. Because TikTok doesn't care about production value. People just want the raw realness. They want the unfiltered. They just want you to show up and just, like, help them. That's all it is. She's like, wow. He's like, thank you. Awesome. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Is I'm just answering questions, helping you guys get a clear result on helping you guys transition from a 9 to 5 to online. It's pretty much online coaching consultant. Basically, is really it. Doesn't really have to be AI specific, because some people want to be AI consultants. Some people want to be life coaches like Candy, which is perfect. So this process works for any of them, for example. So that's why. So if we think of what you could do before you create a website or any of our product or create courses, none of that matters. You need demand first. And demand is going to come from you showing up and serving your ideal clients and just helping. Just be helpful at the end of the day. And don't ask for anything. Yes, I'm going to pitch at the very end, but I'm not like, this whole time I haven't mentioned like the AI community or asking to join. It's like, I'm just here to serve, to give value, and that's basically what you're doing. Now you want to do it for an hour, no more, no less. An hour is enough time to bring people in, for them to stay, to learn, to get some value, and then for you to do, if you ever watch stand-up comedians, I call it crowd work, where basically they ask questions in the crowd and they have fun with them. This whole talk started because Spanish Master literally asked the question, how do I transition from a teacher to an AI consultant? This is the hack. This is the game. This is the content game. Because what the alternative is paid ads, and paid ads don't really help that much, because they got bill funnels or anything like that. Yes, bringing value brings you, yes. And when you talk about bringing, Mike says it the best, when you bring value, brings not only credibility, but what happens is all the people in the audience see you as the trusted advisor, or the person that has the credibility to help them with their specific problem. Credibility doesn't come from degrees, doesn't come from certifications, doesn't come from prestigious colleges. None of that matters in the entrepreneurship world. In the entrepreneurship world, it really just comes down to, one, you understanding the pain point of your ideal client, because you've been there, you understand their struggles, you've been from where they are and know how to get them to where they want to be. Every product or service is some transformation, ultimately. Some transformation from pain to a better health, wealth, or relationships. That's all everything is. So by doing this consistently, now let's talk about monetizing. How do you monetize your expertise? How do you monetize basically you now showing up? So what happens is, as you start showing up and you're doing your, let's call it 50 minutes of free value, basically, you're going to give it all away. Every question that they ask, answer them and over deliver. Be like, here's a checklist, here's this. So now, so put a number one if you guys understand now content. Where basically that's the content game. Posting short form pieces 3 times a day. Let's do this so you guys can take notes. And then going live at least minimally once a day at the same time. Basically, Monica's like, yep, yep, yep. This is the secret to content. Now, I'm going to now show you how to never run out of content ideas, because that's the next thing. John, I don't know what to say. What type of content should I do? What should I say that's, is it too long, too short? What should I say? I don't know. It's like, so here's the hack to how to never run out of content ideas and never be, you don't have to be original too. So I'm going to take an example here. And Mike's like, that's the hard part. Well, we're going to demystify that right now. I'm going to show you the quick and fast, easy way to never run out of content ideas. You guys ready? Here we go. So step number one, you need to follow all of your competitors. Anyone that's not a competitor in your niche, if they're friends, if they're family, unfollow all of them and only follow your competitors. That's the rule. Because now the algorithm is going to feed you their content in your niche so that you can see what good looks like. Are there any AI platforms that make this easy and fair? Not necessarily, because a lot of people, this is a really good question, a lot of people are like, should I use AI to come up with ideas? Or can I make AI to create the content? Or can I have AI create my content? And the answer is no. You have to show up. You have to learn the discipline of, because this is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship and business will always grow to the skill set of the entrepreneur. I'll say that again. The business will always grow to the capacity of the skill set of the entrepreneur. So if the entrepreneur doesn't have skills in social media marketing, then the business will only grow so far. If the business owner entrepreneur only has skills in so many skills in like sales, then the business will grow so far. Hi from Uruguay. Good to see you. So that's why you as the entrepreneur, this is the whole path of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a skill set game. You're always trying to learn how to do marketing, how to do sales, how to fulfill, how to do customer service. You have to wear all the hats, unfortunately. But you have to learn the skill set. You can't delegate it to AI, and you can't cheat around it, because there's no really alternative if like for that. So that's why it's like highly recommend. You have to learn the skill set of creating content. But if you learn it, on the other side of that skill set is unlimited leads that you never have to run paid ads for. Unlimited leads and all the sales, you get all the profit without having to invest in paid ad campaigns for leads. That's the game of content marketing. That's why content is like the hardest of the skill set to learn. Everyone puts it off and they're like, I don't want to create content. I don't know what to say. But it's a skill set. And if you learn that skill set, you get unlimited leads that want to work with you without paying for ads. Cool. So here's how to run or how to find content ideas. So remember, step one, you're going to follow your competition. Step two, I'm going to, actually we did this one, wholesale, actually I'm going to do real estate wholesaling. Just because I did this one for one client, for example, so I actually know this niche. Okay, so on step number two is on a 3rd grade level, what are people going to type in here to find you? It could be life coach, it could be AI tools or tips, it could be wholesale real estate. What are people going to type on the 3rd grade level to find you? That's how they're going to discover you. So I'm going to pick 2 people that I know create content for this niche. So you're going to find your competitors. Say for example, this is one of your competitors. You go and follow. So then they send you content and you don't have to be original. Very important. Now, next step, this is very important, and this is what you can only do on desktop right here. Sort by popular. Boop. Now, oh, look at that. If I'm in his niche and he is my competitor, that's a good thing. You do want competitors. Then 1 million views, 4 million views, 1 million views, 1 million view. Something he said in these videos gained a lot of attention, a lot of attention, a lot of attention. This is now your content ideas right here. So this is how you never run out of content ideas. So whatever he's talking about. Oh, look, it says how to. If we look at the title right here and we look at the hook, there we go. It says how to wholesale real estate. The topic really doesn't matter. Like how, even if you're not in wholesale real estate, that's not really like the niche or which I want you to focus on. Focus on this part, the how to. There are three pieces of content that are the most that have that will get your ideal customers' attentions. Number one is how to learn AI, how to solve life issues, how to use AI in your everyday life, how to use AI in your business, how to use AI, for example. She's like, I seen that video. I'm not even in real estate. We all get fed the same content. But the reason why is because the algorithm's testing the content. We've all seen his videos, like most people, at least on TikTok, if you spend enough time, because he pumps out a lot of content. He pumps out, I think it's like 5 pieces of content a day, plus he goes live twice a day, I think. So that's why you see his content, is because he's pushing out so much volume. That's what you want. You want your ideal customers to be like, John, you're always online. I always see your videos and I always see your live streams. Do you have a life? Do you have a hobby? Do you like you're always online, and that's good. I want to be omnipresent and always on, so that I'm the top of mind. So when the time is right, you want to learn AI, you want to use AI in your business. You're gonna be like, who can I go to? I'm gonna go to John. He's been giving out free advice, and so that's what marketing is. It's putting out a ton of content consistently. It's not a like a 3 month game and you could take a break. And no, content is basically this is how you're going to basically gain your attention. For example, you could never. This is a good question. X says, "What if you push too much, and you feel mediocre after? You can never push enough. You can never push enough, and so much so that you can even double down on the same content." Yes. So that how-to real estate video, every Monday he could create the same type of video, how to get into wholesale real estate. He could create the same video, because what happens is the algorithm is always going to show your video to new people to test it out. It's never going to always show to the exact same people. So you can never run out of content, because your content never has to be that original. You never have to always be original. For example, just show up and answer. These are basically what's called top of funnel questions, like beginner FAQ questions. So that's why there's. Let me tell you a very interesting marketing secret. From the marketing great gurus, one guy is called Dan Kennedy, and he says, if I'm not pissing off one person every day by 12 p.m., I'm not marketing hard enough. And I'm like, dang, that's so good. That you're competing with people like me, who I post 6 pieces of content and go live twice a day, and then I'm competing with people like Alex Hermosi, who puts out 20 pieces of content a day, but he doesn't go live. So that's, you can never push enough content out. But the more you put out, you want to think of short form content like fishing bait. So like if you ever go fishing, you have a little bait, and then that's what the short form content. The algorithm is going to see who's nibbling on that content, who's actually biting that content, and says, you're interested in AI, you're interested in entrepreneurship. Good to know. I'm going to then show you John's live streams, and I'm going to invite you, because John keeps people. Put number 1 in the chat if you're finding this valuable, because John, when the TikTok algorithm says, if I send people who are interested in AI and entrepreneurship to John's live stream, 2 things happen. 1, they stay on the platform, and 2, they comment, they engage. That's why I keep asking you to put a number 1 or to comment, because the ones that are commenting, the algorithm is saying, a lot of people are commenting. I wonder what's the common trait across all of them. They're all interested in AI. They're all interested in entrepreneurship. Cool. I'm going to go find more entrepreneurs interested in AI and feed them into the live stream that's going on right now. So you're seeing people pop in and out. Some people are popping in. They just met me for the first time. They're like, I've never met this guy, but I am struggling with leads and sales, and there's 32 people in this chat, and there's 3,000 likes. Obviously, they like what he's saying, and they're engaging. This seems interesting. And I'm going to sit in the back and just kind of listen on. Go on, mystery man. Tell me how to create content without having to run out of ideas. This is actually good tip. Then You're gonna start getting out a piece of paper and you're like, you know, these are actually really good notes. I'm actually start taking notes. So try me another page. So this is the content game. And the content game is what's going to bring in demand, bring in leads for your business without you having to run paid ads. That's the game. So you need to show up every single day with short form content and also live streams. Because what happens is it's a two-part system. And sometimes they could even hack. Because I was talking with a client today, and I'll talk about the buyer's journey. So they're nibbling on the content, and then they get fed the live stream. And from the live stream, they're like, man, John has an AI community that he keeps talking about. He's been giving so many good tips out that I've been like, it's actually been helping. I've used his tips to like create content. I'm actually creating good content. I've used his AI tips to actually use better AI tools. Man, this guy's got some good tips. I want to see what's on the other side of his AI community, for example. Yes, John said it the best right here. John, AI educator, says the 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 sales are in the live streams, for example. Candy has a good question. So unfollow everyone except competitors, correct? Yes. Because what, and don't, if you're like, hey, I have a profile and I want to take it seriously, I want to turn my profile into a, I've heard this phrase and I think it's kind of catchy. I want to turn my TikTok account into an ATM machine. Basically, this is what you're going to do. Do not delete your content, your existing content, even if it's not related. Do not delete the existing content. Instead, hide it. You can go to the video, click the three dots, and click hide. You could do that. That's totally cool. Because the TikTok algorithm would be like, oh, if you're deleting content, why should I send you videos if you're going to basically be deleting it anyway? So don't delete, just hide. Hey, Junior, good to see you, Junior. So hide the videos, then unfollow everyone in that you're following that is not business, that's not your direct competitors. Because then the algorithm's going to look at the second thing and be like, who are you following? Oh, you're following all these AI entrepreneurs? Okay, you must be in the AI entrepreneur niche. Very interesting. And then it's going to look at your content, and your content, because you're going to be funnel hacking your this is technically called funnel hacking. You're actually, let's call it, it's actually social media hacking. You're social media hacking your competitors, following their content. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to create a video like this where I'm going to sit in the car and talk about how to get into wholesale real estate because this video did 1.4 million views. I'm going to create one with the same level, if not less effort. Do less effort. There's a good phrase. It's like 80% is good enough. Just don't. I set a timer, and I don't. When I create short form content, I don't let it take more than 8 minutes. If it's taking me more than 8 minutes to create a short form piece of content, something in that process is I'm taking too much time to like think about. Either the research idea, for example, that shouldn't take time. The recording of the content shouldn't take that much time. Try to do it faster, if anything, because I want you to pump out more volume in a shorter period. Because I want you, thank you, Tim. I want you to set a timer every single day for an hour, and you're like, whatever I'm going to do for this hour is just pump out content, for example. That's it. Mike says, who follows you back doesn't matter, right? Yep, doesn't matter whoever follows me. There could be some people that are following me that are not AI related. The algorithm doesn't matter. It really cares more about who are you following and who's engaging with your content, for example. And then who's in your live streams and who's staying and watching, for example. 8 minutes, I know. If it takes more than 8 minutes, something in that process, either the research idea is taking too long, which you should be saving your content ideas, and then second is the recording of it. You're probably taking too long recording it. I record all my content inside the TikTok app. I press and hold that record button, and I think of, there's three parts: my hook, my value, and my call to action. My hook is I'll get the video out. I like props. I'll get my video out, camera phone. I press and hold the record button, and I say, AI is going to take away all software developer jobs. And I'm like, let go, and I'm like, nah, I don't like that. Delete. And I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to say, software developers just lost their job to AI. Let go. I'm like, look at it. I'm like, 3 seconds. Yep. And I'll be like, is that a good catchy title that would get someone to stop to scroll? And I'll be like, yeah, that's a pretty good title. And then the next thing is value. Value, you can talk to the camera or you can show something. basically. Doesn't really matter. Um, OV says, how can we build a framework, short form content with AI? You can't ignore the AI because think of it this way. You want to get good manually, like doing it manually, before you add AI. If you don't have a process down and you're not creating content or you're creating the wrong content, AI is not going to help you. So this is why this whole process doesn't require AI, and this process is how I get 50 or 1,200 followers every single week. This is the process. No AI. It's very simple to hack this process, and you can do it today. You don't even have to buy an AI subscription, stuff like that. Really good tips, good questions. Is entrepreneurship the only future job? Actually, think of it this way. Entrepreneurship is the only vehicle going forward if you don't want to work a 9 to 5 and you actually want to have time freedom in the future and financial freedom. Entrepreneurship is the only vehicle. I'm not going to say it's an overnight success. I'll tell you, it's 2 years before you start getting success. And if you have a good coach, he could shorten that time frame. But every business will always grow to the capacity of the skill set of the entrepreneur. So a lot of people are like, if they're not good with content, it's a skill set. Just like going to the gym. Like when you go to the gym and you've never like lifted, let's say like 50 pounds, you're like, oh, I never lifted 50 pounds. Well, you're going to train. You're going to get some reps, and every single week you're going to practice, and then 30 days later you're like, oh, 50 pounds? That's easy. I got this. Why? Because you did the reps. Same thing with content. Content is you have to do the reps. You have to post more content. The more you post, because I post 6 pieces of content every day, I've done more reps than you, so I've practiced more times to see and I look back at my videos. I'm like, why did that video do good? I'm like, why did this one suck? And I'm like, oh, let me check out and see why, for example. Mike says, honestly, I want to automate the dissemination of the content. Let's talk about that. So distribution, that can be automated. So I spent 8 minutes recording my content, and I've posted it to TikTok. There's a setting in there that also downloads it to your phone. So I'm like, cool, 8 minutes, got a piece of content out, good enough. Keep saying that phrase again. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. Don't try and chase perfection. Don't like TikTok hates perfection. That's Instagram. Instagram loves perfection, loves the glamour, loves this facade of perfection. TikTok doesn't care. Raw, you could be in bed, just dropping value. That's it, for example. Super simple. Now, when you have those pieces of content, this is why it really helps to. I have, let's say, for example, now it's 45 minutes into my content creating schedule. Every day for an hour, I'm going to create content. 30 minutes in, I created all my pieces of content. I'm going to then airdrop those videos onto my laptop. I just said airdrop, and everyone with a PC just said, what? What's airdrop? This is why you want to have a Mac and an iPhone, because you can transfer all the videos directly from your phone to your computer. It's Bluetooth, basically, instantly, without a cable or anything. It's called airdrop. That's why you want to get a Mac. So here's the hack, guys, number 2. So put a number 1 in the chat if you're ready to learn how to distribute your content on all the social media platforms with one action. Nelson's like, come on, bro. I love my PC. So I appreciate all the comments. Here we go. So I'm going to grab 2 things. I'm going to grab a video from here. I'm just going to create a new folder, just test, just to kind of get something. Let me get a video. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me move this here so we can. Okay, so I've airdropped all my videos. I just did one for right now. Here's my short form video, right? I click on it. Notice that it has the caption. Also notice that I'm trolling people too, in the sense that people are going to, the first time they watch this video, they're going to be confused, like, why is he holding a wrench, and is that a mic? I'm confused. Oh wait, the video's over. Now I got to rewatch it again so I can figure out what he's talking about. This is how you hack the brain. It's called brain hacking. This is next level. Don't get to this level. Like, this is advanced level. So I got my piece of content. I need to push this, and it's already posted on TikTok. I need to post this on YouTube, Instagram, and Instagram. I'm not gonna say LinkedIn anymore. I'm gonna say now Blue Sky is probably the next one. I'm not gonna say don't post on LinkedIn, don't post on Pinterest, don't post on X. None of those platforms matter, honestly. So here's the software we're gonna use. It's called Buffer. Take a screenshot, take a screenshot, take a screenshot. Buffer is the app that I use to schedule to post my content on. Ignore that I have LinkedIn. I'm taking it down. I'm going to take that short video and I'm going to post it on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and then you could LinkedIn, but honestly, LinkedIn is not worth anything. I've never gotten a sale from LinkedIn, so I'm actually going to switch it to. I know also something you guys have never heard of. I'm going to switch it to Blue Sky. Blue Sky is the new form of X. It's not going to take off until the end of the year. Already there's a slow migration there, so it's just a later thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take my video. I'm going to click New Post. I'm going to select, and you have to do this on your computer. You don't like Metrical? I just never tried it, Mike. Everyone's going to Blue Sky. Metrical may be a thing. I just don't know about it yet. This is how I learn about things. So I'm gonna take this piece of content, drag and drop. So it's loading. Now I'm gonna get my title. AI is taking over the world. Get my hashtags, AI tools, and artificial intelligence. I misspelled that horribly, but doesn't matter. You never want to use more than 2 or 3 hashtags max, for example. Mike's like, I only asked because I created an account. Eventually, right now everyone's on Blue Sky. That's like the main one. It may be just a different protocol, but everyone's going to Blue Sky because they're leaving X and they're eventually going to leave Threads. It's basically like if X and TikTok had a baby, that's basically what Blue Sky is. And it's not owned by anyone, which is kind of cool. So it's slowly uploading. We'll wait for it to load. But this is basically how I publish to these 3 platforms. You can publish to more. On their free plan, you can publish to 3 channels and you can schedule 10 posts in the future per channel. So that's completely on the free plan. If you want to spend a little money, it's $6 per channel, and then you can upload and schedule all your content. You could technically, if you really want to be time management, for example, you can technically create and batch all of your content on a Sunday or a Saturday, and then it'll schedule to post all 5 days a week. So you don't even have to post every single day. So that's one way to hack. Candy's like, I went on there, there's no one there. There's no one I know there. Blue Sky. Yeah, it's eventually going to, so with Blue Sky, there's no algorithm. And so you have to actually go there with the intent of following a specific person to then start getting their content. So it's totally different because we're used to being fed the algorithm as far as let the algorithm show you interesting content. Actually, followers don't even matter anymore, if you notice too. The algorithm doesn't show you people that you followed. It's always just showing you new stuff, which is interesting. So followers will eventually become irrelevant by the end of the year. Like following count won't matter because it's all about the For You page. It's all about how good your content is. So this is important. So I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to click Customize for all channels. One step last to, yeah, you can use Opus. If you like Opus, you could use Opus Clip. You could use Hootsuite, you could use Buffer. They all do the same thing. You could even use, I'll give a shout out to Sabrina Romanoff's Blotato. First off, if you don't know Sabrina, you definitely need to follow. Oh, too bad I can't see it. I want to see a picture. Sabrina Romanoff. There we go. That's a horrible picture. If you ever seen, sorry, there's a better picture. If you ever seen Sabrina, she's an amazing AI content creator. Definitely follow her. Highly also recommend follow her, sign up for her newsletter or too. It's a ton of free value. Highly recommend it. So she has a software called Blotato, and that's another one for content scheduling. And if you think about the price of it too, for the pricing, for $29 a month, you can upload to 20 social media accounts for just $29, and you can schedule. So it doesn't really matter what you choose. You could use Blotato, Buffer, Hootsuite, Opus Clip, any one of those to schedule to post your content. Just do that versus trying to upload and do it on your phone and log into one app at a time, or trying to do it on your website, or do it one at a time on the website. So that's like the worst way kind of thing. Okay, let's bring it to an end because we need to finish our setting here because I'm going to take a break because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I've been go, 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 do. Good, good, good. So now, let's review. How to transition from a 9 to 5 to an 8. It doesn't really have to be AI consultant. It could just be, honestly, anything. Any consultant or coach. Or it pretty much works for any of these. Who's your niche? Who's your ideal client? What are the number one problem that keeps them up at night that you're going to create content around? You're going to do the content game where you're basically going to post short form piece of content. The same video that you do on TikTok can then get repurposed on YouTube and Instagram for short. 100% you could do that. What you don't want to do is hey Richard's here. You don't want to repurpose YouTube videos on TikTok or vice versa. It doesn't work. So you want to create horizontal videos and put them on YouTube, and vertical videos and put them on these three platforms, and you're good. You have to do the 3-in-1 rule. Post 3 times a day and go live once a day. If you're doing anything under this threshold, the algorithm doesn't see you as a content creator and has no incentive to push your content. You're a hobbyist, basically. Now let's talk about the last part, monetization. How do you monetize your knowledge or your expertise? Right here, that's the number one thing. Richard's like, yo, dropping knowledge. Okay, there are a couple different ways. I'm going to show you 3 different options. Option number 1 is one-time digital product that can sell for anywhere from, I've seen them go for 9 to almost even 49 to like 497. It's basically this one-time digital product can be a ebook if it's like 49 bucks for like anywhere from like 19 to I've seen them go as high as $88 for an ebook. I know, wild, right? So next could be a course. Actually, it could be also a mini course. A mini course can go for anywhere from $27 I've seen, all the way up to like $97. It's like a one-time buy. It's like maybe a 1 or 2 hour mini course. Basically, I've seen those work. I've seen full courses. And full courses go anywhere from $297 to $497. Basically, these are one-time buys. And then I've seen templates go anywhere from $19 to about. I've seen templates even that from like up to like $69, give or take. So these are a couple different ways you can monetize with just selling a one-time digital product, basically. You can take the information and just repurpose in any one of these. That's one option. The other option is communities. Communities require once to twice a week live office. Think of like Zoom calls, basically Zoom calls, and that's for like Q&A. Basically, they have questions and answers and you can guide them. Basically, it's what we're doing right now, but just in a private community. Basically, it could have one of two things. It could either have courses or a course or workshops. So you can do where you meet regularly and you can have them, give them access to a course, or you could do like even bi-weekly workshops as well, work as well too. And I'm gonna do this one, consulting. Okay, so course workshops, they're all included. So I've seen communities be as low as $19 and go as high as, oh my gosh, I know some that are like $299 per month. This is just per month. I've seen like online communities go. It depends on the value, really. The nice thing about these is that it doesn't matter if 1 or 50 people sign up immediately. It doesn't cost you more time, fundamentally. That's why communities are right now the number one most important thing, in demand thing, because people want they want to connect, they want to belong, they want to meet other people that are working towards a similar goal together, with you as like the trusted advisor, the coach, for example. That's really popular. Um, Now let's talk about the last option that you can monetize is consulting. I've seen 2 day for 2 hours, 2 hours a day workshops. I've seen 5 day challenges. 2 day workshops usually go for like, I don't know. I've seen them. Let's round it like 247, or no, 147 for a ticket for a 2 day workshop. I've seen that as like an average price. These are like average prices. 5 day challenges usually go for 97, with a and a 297 VIP package. So 5 day challenges is where they meet with you for 1 to 2 hours a day on Zoom. If they buy the general ticket, the $97 one, they get 1 hour a day for 5 days where you're trying to help them. Basically, you're helping them get some transformation, for example. Very important. And then the 297 is basically they get an extra hour, but they get to ask you questions like the hour before or the hour after. Oops, hold on. There we go. They get to ask you a question either the hour before or an hour after. That's the VIP. So it's like in the $97, they don't get to ask you questions. They're just going to go strictly to your course. Is that one? Yeah, all of these things, everything here is group. Everything here is group, one to many. Because then you go down here, which is group training. Group training is like, I've seen it go for as low as 199, 197, all the way to, gosh, I've seen group training go up even to like almost 1,500. Honestly, I've seen group training, group consulting, group coaching, where you're trying to help them in this group. It could be small group, all the way like, so it just depends. The price always depends on the size of the group, how big of a group is going to be in there, for example. Also, what's the transformation that you're helping them go through. And they go from, I mean, some go for like 3 month packages. You don't have to sell the packages, but some usually go for like 3, 6, or 12 months. Basically, it's like the program. What's your program? These are programs. These are where you're going through a curriculum, because fundamentally, if you want to think about it, on average, it takes roughly, actually, I'm not going to quote this. Hold on. I'm going to actually Google this so that people will be like, John, no, it doesn't. How long to take to change habits? Okay. It could take anywhere from 18 to 250 days to break a habit or to change some behavior. That's basically, that's why people go into group coaching. They need accountability, they need a framework, they need coaching to help them to change some habit in their life, or routine, or learn a system, or learn a framework. So basically, because not everything can be taught in a course. Sometimes change, like business coaching. Business coaching goes for like 1 to 2 years because it takes so much time to teach marketing, sales, and operations to a business owner. Some get it fast, some take longer. So that's why business coaching is like always takes like a year, or for example. So the biggest catch of the challenge is how fast one takes action, to be honest. Yeah, and the challenge, the 5 day challenge, is just a short taste. It's a taste to give you it's a taste to see what it's like to work with you. That then, because the challenge, the 5 day challenge or a 2 day workshop, is just meant to sell a higher ticket item or a community on the back end. It's like an introductory. It's like a paid trial, basically. A 2 day workshop or a 5 day challenge is basically a trial that then sells a community or a high ticket coaching program on the back end, for example. Because you're always upselling. You should always upsell. At the very end of every program, you're always upselling the next level, for example. Most businesses fail because they only have one product or service to sell. You need to have multiple levels. All right, let's bring it to an end because we're almost done. Appreciate everyone. Put in number 1 in the chat if you're finding this valuable. This is some knowledge. Lastly, here is one-on-one training, coaching, or consulting. I've seen this go from anywhere from 500 all the way to actually 1500. Yeah, 1500 per month. And this is group training. This is the same per month, for example. So those, if I missed anything, I think that's most of it. I highly recommend take a screenshot. There you go. Take a screenshot, and put a number one in the chat if you found this valuable. Those are the different ways. You don't have to do all of them. You really don't. You can just pick one of them and then slowly grow, add another one over time if you want. You're not obligated to add more products or services. These are just different vehicles of transformation. Some are low ticket, some are high ticket, some are mid ticket in the community. It really doesn't matter. Whatever helps you deliver the transformation to your clients. Sometimes they want an ebook, which is great. You could just make a ton of money with just ebooks. Then you want to add. These are how you would add multiple revenue streams to your business through these different vehicles to monetize your expertise or to help a client. So, for example, let's do a 1-minute recap of everything, and then I get to eat dinner. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So for a lot of people that are just joining, we started this session here with answering the question, how to transition from a 9 to 5 to a online consultant, or let's just say online coach. Basically, it's like the basic, like simple, because it works for anyone. Is there any tutorial video? Yes, actually everything that I mentioned, I'll show you where you can get the course and more in depth of everything I just said. So number one, you need to start with a niche. Who is that one specific avatar that you're trying to solve, for example? Very important. You have to be specific. Has to be one person. Next, what is the number one problem? I'm actually going to put this here because this is very important. What is the number one problem that keeps them up at night? Has to be a problem that keeps them up at night. If you have a product or service and it doesn't keep them up at night, then they have no reason to happily purchase for some transformation. Next is going to be content. You need to get yourself out there. You need to do content first before you create the product. Do not create the product before you create the audience. Create the audience first and demand. Then, based on their needs, they'll ask you too. They'll ask you if you have a workbook, a course, a community, one-on-one coaching. They'll ask for it. If you show up and you deliver value, they will ask for it. So then you need to, minimally, the 3-in-1 rule. You need to post 3 times a day, short form video. Just budget 1 hour a day to get that done. Over time, you'll get faster. The first 30 days are like the most awkward. Just I don't want to say, just create content. Then go live once a day. Your first two or 3 weeks of going live is also going to be awkward, but don't worry. The algorithm is it's like a 3-week learning phase where the algorithm's just trying to figure out who's your niche, who do we send you content to. Oh, you're a business, you solve this one problem. Okay, I'm going to send you more people based on your engagement and the people that watch your stuff. Now, next part, monetization, the most important part. Now, there are 3 vehicles: one-time digital products, community, and consulting. These are the 3 ways that you can monetize, and you could pick one or the other. You can just pick one out of these that you find is the best. Whatever works for your time. Some people want to create a digital product, an ebook, a template, or a mini course and just sell that. Perfect. Just do that. Some people want to create a community because they need weekly coaching so that they need weekly Zoom sessions because they need to coach their clients. Each one of these, doesn't matter what it is, helps the ideal client transform. Move from pain to pleasure. Move from pain and suffering to some better health, wealth, or relationships, fundamentally. These are just different vehicles to help with the transformation. Sometimes it could be an ebook, like I just read the book, How to Un-F Yourself is a really good ebook for mindset coaching. Sometimes you need a one-on-one coach to actually change your behavior, change your habit, help you guiding. Say, for example, like a business coach. You need to work with a business coach to teach you marketing, sales, content, how to create a product. So these are just different vehicles to help the person solve their problem, for example. You're going to pick one and you're just going to rock that. So that is, in less than an hour-ish, how the whole system, the whole keyword, the whole framework. So you're going to start, what you're going to do, action point number 1 is you're going to create content. That's the number 1 thing, is creating content. And then based on the demand, they will tell you what product or service you're going to create on the back end. Spanish Master says, when you have your community established, what platform do you recommend to get to the audience for buying? Great question. Let's talk about that real quick, and then I'll do a call to action, and then I'm hungry. Let me show you one of my students, David, because David is an executive coach. He may be on the call. Say hi, David, if you're on the call. No, good questions, good questions. These are excellent questions. At the end of the day, I want you guys to be successful with your businesses. I'm here to serve. The universe puts you in this room for a reason. I showed up, and now I just have to serve. That's the God's plan. Anyways, so meet David. David's an executive coach. He helps people with their career. David's next part is a link in bio. I highly recommend, quick and fast and easy, just get a Linktree. Linktree is going to be very easy. You don't need a website. You don't need a website. You don't need a funnel. You don't need email marketing. Just a Linktree. That's all. David's killing it. Oh, David's crushing it. Rule number 2. Actually, I'm going to share a short video with you guys because this is important. 2, not 3. Say it with me. 2, not 3. Let me show you why. I'm going to show you because you'll love this motivation content. I'm going to grab a video from inside the AI community. Just shows this. 2, not 3. Watch this 20-second video. Very important. Why you should have 2 buttons and never 3. Or more than 3. Why is it not show? Okay, that's fine. 2, not 3. Hopefully we can get to it. Okay, cool. Hopefully this will work. TikTok. There we go.
2 salesmen in Los Angeles in the 1950s, and a journalist asked him, "What's your secret?" And he said, 2, not 3. If a woman comes into my store, I'll bring her a pair of shoes. She'll try them on, and she'll say, "Could I see that pair, please?" And I'll bring her a second pair of shoes. And she said, "Could I also see that pair, please?" And he'll say, "Which one would you like me to take away?"
Oh.
Because what he found
Wow.
is when they had a choice of 3, they bought none. And when they had a choice of 2, they bought 1.
Ah, I love that.
Right? 2, not 3. Too much choice is overwhelming.
Oh
but the
man,
constraint.
I need to apply that to my life. You see, that's brilliant. I love it when people find the nexus of.
So say it with me. 2, not 3, and that's what David had. David used to have 6, and he's like, "Why are people not buying?" I'm like, "You have 6 options. They don't have a clue which one to choose, so now he has 2, and now he's generating more sales. 2, not 3. Thought you guys would like that one. Second one is just a Linktree, very simple. It just links to 1 or 2 of your products, basically. For example, I remember him suggest. Yeah, I remember that. We did that roasting too, because he's like, I coach. He's inside the AI community. He's one of my students, so I'm always trying to help my students. So next, when you have a Linktree, look where it takes you. Oh my gosh, is that a Stripe checkout page just a buy now? It's not a website? Yes. This is a buy now. It could be Stripe, it could be Square, it could be PayPal, doesn't matter. This is now, in 3 clicks, they went from click in the bio, they clicked on what the option they wanted, because he promoted this during the live streams. He's talking about this product during the live streams so much that they're like, oh my god, I got to get what he's talking about on the live streams. The sales are in the live streams. And then from there, when they're ready to go buy, it goes straight to a buy now page. That's all. Don't do a funnel. Don't do a lead magnet. Don't do a whole like crazy like paid sales page. That's all. That's the entire funnel, because it's basically like Amazon shopping. It's a one-click buy basically, because they're sold on the live stream. That's what your live stream should do. Your live stream should inspire, give so much value, and show a tool or a vehicle or a course or something to help them with their pain point, for example. And so that's why it's just link in bio, 1 button. There's the shop, but the buy now page, and there is that. So Meg's like, love this guy. Hi, Meg. Meg, shout out to Meg. She's in the chat. She teaches. Has a very interesting niche. She teaches people how to use low-code tools like Lovable to build directory sites, like a farmer's market directory site, so that people who love farmer markets can basically find other farmer market stuff around to buy. I think it's a great idea. I was looking at your course, and phenomenal course, awesome. So what did we learn today? We learned how to niche down. We learned about content. We learned about the different vehicles. We learned about basically the digital funnel, very simple, Linktree and a sales page, that's it. And we learned about the importance of live streams. That's the whole game. So hope you found this valuable. If, and of course, you know me, I'm going to offer too, if you want more resources, in-depth courses on everything, I'd like to invite you to the AI community, where inside the AI community, it's hosted in Circle. Will this get pulled back in the community? This is actually what I just went through is actually going to go in the digital marketing course. I'm just kind of like, today was like a dry run of it technically. And actually it was spontaneous kind of thing. So you can see all the courses. We have courses on Notion, ChatGPT, custom GPTs, ClickUp, social media everything on how I create content and social media marketing is more in depth in here. This also has live streams, how to do digital marketing, basically how to create a product or a digital product and sell it, how to create a digital clone, how to create an app, how to create an AI avatar, make.com. And then we have once a week live workshops, and then we also have community like office hours, like I think 2 days a week, so you could come in, ask questions, for example. So if you guys are interested, don't worry, you could join, link is in bio, you click that and you could join the community. You could pick the monthly or the annual plan. On the monthly plan, you get access to everything. On the annual plan, you're saving 40% and you're getting to work one-on-one with me. You get 2 hours of one-on-one coaching with me, for example. Is the AI avatar the same as the AI bot? Not really. Well, an avatar is basically your clone of yourself that looks like you. I'll show it in another lesson. It's like a HeyGen digital clone. So your clone can create content so you don't have to create content. Hey Damon, good to see you too. So hope you guys learned something. I'll be back for a late night stream. Oh man, technically this was the 8 to like 9, so I'm actually gonna take a break. I'll probably be on like late tonight for another late night stream. But I go live every day, 6 p.m., 10 p.m. So follow if you're interested in AI, entrepreneurship, how to make money online. Those are all the secrets. So hope you learned something. I'm Jonathan Acuna. I love my audience, from Richard to Dennis to Candy, to Spanish Master, to everyone, Meg, welcome, to Two Wellness. Great audience today, great audience. I'll see you guys in the next live. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Bye. Cool. Hey, we hit 18K. That's wild.